Okay, I think I mentioned it earlier, but SPF roofing, spray foam roofing, is much different than other roofing systems because the fact that you, as the operator of the rig, are manufacturing the product on site. Generally speaking, with most single-ply roofs, truckloads of the material are going to show up. They're going to drop it off on site, crane it up to the top of the roof. You'll drill a ton of screw holes into the facility. Material will be laid out. There will be miles of seams that need to be secured together. Obviously, that's general, but it gives you the picture. Foam roofs, as most of you already know, are spray applied directly to the substrate. So they form a custom form fit to the top of the facility that you're spraying. The end result's a monolithic barrier that's insulating and waterproof and protective. But as a spray foam operator, you'll be mixing the two chemical components. One part is called A, and that's generally represented by the color red. The other chemical is B, and that's represented by the color blue. And this next point actually is important because it's often misunderstood as far as spray foam roofs are concerned. Write this down. The foam is the waterproofing material. So the foam is the waterproofing material of the system. But as part of that system indicates, it must be covered up to protect itself, to protect the foam from ultraviolet light. And like I said, that's often misunderstood. People think that when they see a spray foam roof, the foam's there, but then the coating on top of it's doing the waterproofing. There's benefits, there's waterproofing benefits and other benefits for whatever's covering the foam. But the primary purpose of that is to protect the foam from UV light because it will degrade over time. Like I said, foam's most often covered by a roof coating, like a premium grade acrylic or a silicone, which Aaron will be going over down the road. But in the right instances, it can also be covered up by an aggregate, such as crushed gravel. But you take the spray foam, you take whatever covering you're using, and together, that's what is sold as the roofing system. With some exceptions, spray foam can be applied to most surfaces and most substrates, and that includes other roofing systems, such as wood, metal, spray foam, concrete, built-up roofs, and even some single plies, mod bits. And the general rule of thumb when applying spray foam, very general rule of thumb, is that the substrate that you're spraying onto, whether it's an existing roof or a roof deck, what have you, is that it's securely fastened, dry, and free of dirt and debris. But with that said, it's not that simple. And we'll go deeper into it in phase 2. But very generally, those are the things that need to be in order to spray the substrate. But at this point in your training, consult with your movement instructors and your material supplier before you make any unwise decisions. One of the basic tenets of M.V.M.T movement is this: if you're not moving, you're dying. Movement is not a strategy, and there are few things, especially in sports, in life, there are few things worse than somebody enthusiastically running in the wrong direction. Everyone in this group has done it. That's why we are here. That's why we have a group of experts to help their peers, to bounce ideas off of. And over the next several months, we're going to, over the next several months of training, we're going to set expectations. We're going to form an environment for you to succeed, and then we'll give you support along the way. And that's the whole purpose of this. In this industry, over time, it's inevitable. Things are going to happen, all kinds of things, and it's a given. How you respond in the field is what's the most important. But with that said, you don't know what you don't know. That's why learning from somebody that has had experience in this group, for those from those of us that have already paid that dump tax, it's going to save you time and it's going to save you pain. On that note, we've identified 4 areas of responsibilities that are critical to the overall strategic mission of each job that you're on. So write these down: procedures, evaluations, compliance, and workmanship. This is another sports analogy. Why is a scoreboard important in a sports game? Because it gives you optics and it allows you to strategize. If it's 4th and goal in the 4th quarter and you're down by 1 point with seconds left on the clock, your strategy is going to be way different than if it's 2nd down, 9 yards to go in the 1st quarter and the game's tied up. These AORs are your scoreboard, and you can't play the game well if you don't update the information that is on your scoreboard. Plus, you won't know the winners from the losers, which I feel is important. Procedures, evaluations, compliance, and workmanship. What do we mean by procedures? These are documented systems for every aspect of your spray foam rig operations. In every rig and on every job, there are inherent operational systems that should be written down, documented, and practiced until it becomes second nature to you and to everybody supporting you on that rig. The end result is that the rig can operate consistently and efficiently regardless of who is doing those tasks. This includes things like startup and shutdown, daily job sheets, job-specific execution orders, or equipment service maintenance logs. And these are tools that we're going to help you with. We're going to help you build specific to your rig, because everybody's is a little bit different. And whether you're working for somebody or that you have your own business, it all kind of depends on how we're playing this. And then we'll help you streamline them and integrate these into the operations of your business. But just be aware of them. Know that isn't until phase 2. We're going to be doing phase 2 basic training here probably in about 4 weeks. But if you're interested, we do have templates available of that list that I just provided. And if you are interested, just shoot me an email. I'll provide it in the I'll provide my email in the notes below, and just put a headline of looking for templates or something like that. The next one is evaluations. Part of your procedures will be to collect data. But why do you want data? And a lot, in my experience, when I've implemented these into my own business, a lot of the guys and the operators that I've trained, I get the general sense that they feel like this is a waste of time, which I understand. But in my opinion, it's what separates the winners from the losers in our business. In the long run, doing these things are going to make your job, make your day-to-day way more efficient. Business is a competition, and there are thousands of roofers out there whispering in the ears of the very same clients, prospective clients, that you're trying to do business with as well. The only way to lead the pack is to master your trade. You can't master your trade if you don't know where you stand. And that's why we start recording these numbers. Plus, if you don't, when you call us with an issue, and your movement instructors are providing questions to you to help you troubleshoot, if you don't have that intel to give to us, then our hands are tied with how much we can help you. And the end result for all of this is to take your numbers and to turn them into activities to improve your operations. So what data will you be collecting? You're going to be collecting things, and this is including, but not exclusive to, ambient temperature, dew point, humidity, anemometer readings, surface moisture, drum temps, hose temps, lot numbers, pressures, foam, stroke counts, and on and on and on and on and on. The more measurements that you take means greater application performance, because you can take that, turn it into intel, and improve. Compliance. These are just specific application guidelines for spray polyurethane foam, and we'll be breaking those down later on as well. But they're things like building codes and where to find them, the best practices, identifying conditions in your roof system specs, so that you don't void warranties, just because everybody's specs are a little bit different. Things like new construction versus re-roofs versus recoveries. And then finally, workmanship. And in my opinion, this is the most fun. Phase 3 of the three phases of your basic training will primarily consist of this workmanship. And I feel like this is where you will. I feel like this is where you really benefit from the masters and the veterans in this group, because they're guys that have been in the game for quite a while, 20, 30s, a couple of them even 40 some years. These things are like detail work around drains and vents and parapet walls, machine settings, pressure settings, gun tip sizes, the combination of those things, equipment preferences during certain applications, tips and tricks, techniques, things that operators in this group have learned over the years. I feel like I said, this is going to be the most beneficial to you. That wraps it up for the application portion today. I know it's kind of been a long day, but thank you for your engagement. I appreciate your commitment to becoming better. And I really get encouraged when you get a big group of young professionals that want to come together to help sharpen their minds, because thinking is the hardest part of our job, and pretty much anybody's job. And that's probably why most people don't do it. That is a wrap, and we will see you next time. Thanks.